Well, welcome again to ACLU on the Hill, take two, about a bill, HB 171, Custodial Interrogation Amendments, which we have recorded an entire video about yesterday. But then, Lyla Mahmoud, ACLU Legislative Policy Counsel, what happened right before you were about to testify on this bill?
So a substitution was introduced that modified the language of the bill and kind of changed the outcome of what happened.
Gotcha. So did it change it for the better, for the worse? How did the bill change? And how common is this kind of an approach of where a bill's language changes right before it goes in front of a committee?
So substitutions are really common, and they usually occur when representatives have met with stakeholders that have concerns about the language of the bill. So then the representative might modify the bill based on conversations they had with stakeholders. In this case, with HB 171, what was changed is the language surrounding police deception. They took out police deception, which is a broader term, and they tailored it a little bit more narrowly to just talk about police providing false evidence during custodial interrogations to children. So it kind of narrowed what this bill is talking about.
Gotcha. So originally the bill just had that broad word deception, saying that police could not deceive children during an interrogation. And what does custodial interrogation mean? Can you back that up a bit and explain what that means?
Yeah, custodial interrogation is just an interrogation that happens when, in this case, a child is in custody. And in custody is kind of, generally speaking, a situation in which the individual feels they're not free to leave.
Gotcha. So taking place in an interview room in a police precinct, or maybe even during a traffic stop after you've been read your Miranda rights, just any time that you feel like you're in custody. Got it.
That's right.
So they changed the language to focus specifically on deception related to evidence. Can you walk us through an example of what that might be? Like, what would deception related to evidence look like in a sort of a hypothetical interrogation?
Yeah, so the bill is specifically talking about providing false information or lying about evidence that they might have when they're doing custodial interrogation with children. I'm sure anyone who's watched any law shows or, cop shows on TV kind of are familiar with these situations when police might say, we have this piece of evidence, or this individual told us this information, in order to elicit a response from the person who's in the interrogation when they don't actually have that information.
Gotcha. So saying that, hey, we've got this thing with your fingerprints on it when they actually don't.
Exactly.
And as you know, and you've testified, children are especially susceptible to this type of pressure, right? And that's why the ACLU supports this bill. Can you explain a little bit about why it's important not to deceive or lie to children during police interrogations?
Yeah, I mean, we know that children don't have the same decision-making capabilities as adults. They're not developed in the same way that adults are. So they might not be able to handle the pressures of police interrogation, especially when police are lying about evidence to them. And they're more likely, because of that, to give false confessions based off of, the lies that police told them in custodial interrogation.
So the bill, with its substitution, was then heard in front of the committee. You testified in favor of it, along with a lot of other folks. Can you tell us what happened to the bill and where it goes from here?
So the bill passed favorably out of committee, and now it's headed to the House floor. We'll see what happens there, and maybe it's on its way to the Senate.
Gotcha. And this is HB 171, Custodial Interrogation Amendments, which limits what police can do to deceive children, minors, during police interrogations. Thank you very much, Lyla. We appreciate your insight on this bill and your testimony on it, and we'll check in with you later on to find out what happens with it.
Thank you, Jason.